YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Pokémon Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're doing another playthrough of Pokemon Crystal, but with a slight twist. We're going to be doing an optimized playthrough today. A couple weeks ago we played through with Pineco. Was not a great Pokemon, had a lot of trials, struggles, and tribulations that I had to overcome to beat the game, which was fun to do, but it was just not a good Pokemon when you look at the grand scheme of other Pokemon. Today we're going to be playing through with a slightly better version of that Pokemon. That's its fully evolved form, Forretress, the bagworm Pokemon. I have no idea what that means. We're going to dive into our first battle of the game, which is against our rival. Our rival's name is named !! as per tradition, and he's going to lead out with a Cyndaquil. It is a fire-type Pokemon. We are 4 times weak to fire. That's why I chose Cyndaquil form, and we named our Pokemon Ironhide. As you can see in this battle, our rival has no fire moves, so this battle is pretty easy. We're just going to use Tackle, really outpace it. We have really high defense with this Pokemon. We beat our rival, move right on to the next part of the game, where I'm going to review our stats. Our stats as Pokemon are as follows: 75 HP, 90 attack, defense is 140, special attack, special defense is 60, and speed is 40. Speed being 40 is actually a huge improvement over Pineco, because Pineco only had a speed of 15. Even though 40 is not much, it's much better than 15. I'll take that any day of the week, twice on Sunday. This is an optimized playthrough, which means we can use what's called an egg move. Flail, Pin Missile, Reflect, and Swift are the 4 moves this Pokemon can get via Egg, and really only 2 of them are viable, which is Pin Missile and Swift. Swift would have been more powerful, but it wouldn't have been a move that would have paced very long in the game. It doesn't help our second rival problem, so we went with Pin Missile. 14 base power, 21 with Stab, and it's 85% accurate. It's really its biggest downside. It is also a very weak move, but like I said, it's a stab move and it can hit Ghosts. The fact that you can hit Ghosts is really big because our second rival was one of our biggest points of contention in the Pineco playthrough. A couple things about this Pokemon. We are Bug Steel, which means we have negated some of the bug problems that Pineco had, being weak to rock and flying, but we've added a new problem where fire moves are not 2 times effective, they're 4 times effective. Getting the Steel type, though, does come with a lot of resistances, which is pretty nice, and we also have a very high defense with this Pokemon. We are in the medium fast growth rate, which is great for a solo challenge and solo playthrough, and the other thing about this Pokemon is it's just really kind of cool looking, to be honest. I kind of like the design of this Pokemon. In the early game, the whole goal here is to get as many levels as possible before we take on Falkner. We didn't face a lot of wild encounters because wild encounters don't emit a lot of experience. However, we did face Bellsprout Tower. I didn't showcase it, but we did. Pin Missile was very effective against most of the Pokemon in there, except for a couple of the Noctowls or whatever they're called. And if you didn't see in the last one, we got hit with a super effective Peck, and it did nothing because of our defense. The fact that Flying type is effective against us has been negated by our Steel type. And now we move on to Falkner. Now, what we don't have is a great move to knock out Falkner. If we waited 2 more levels, we'd have got Takedown and probably would have one-shot both these Pokemon. However, Tackle will be a 2-shot. The downside, though, is this Pokemon, well, actually both Pokemon, have access to a move called Mud Slap. Mud Slap will lower our accuracy. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does lower our accuracy. We can just outpace it. Eventually, we'll hit, because we have so much defense. We got hit a lot there, and we still have more than half of our health. So we beat Falkner pretty handily, and we're going to move right into the next gym, which is Bugs' Gym. Bugs' Gym, we did add a move. We added Takedown. Takedown is a lot more powerful than Tackle. And honestly, like, Swift would have been a happy medium here because Swift is only 60 base power. So we've been right in between. So maybe Swift would have been hitting one-shotting more often. And then we also went and got the Pink Bow. If you don't know this, after you beat Falkner, you can backtrack. And I think her name is Tuscany of Tuesday. She'll give you the Pink Bow after you've beaten Falkner, and that gives you a 10% boost to all normal moves. So Takedown is usually 90 power, and then with the Pink Bow, it's 99 power, so 10% boost. And then Tackle, same thing. Right now, we're just taking on all the trainers we can before we have to face our rival. Rival is really the biggest problem in the early game because of a couple reasons. One, in the original playthrough, we didn't have a move that could hit Ghosts, so you had to spam out all of our moves and use Struggle. Now, here's the problem. You have to get to a higher level to do that, because we had self-destruct, and once we self-destruct, we block out, we show up at the Pokemon Center, and now we have all of our moves back. So we had to spam out all those, and we had to get to a level where we could replace self-destruct with rapid spin. So we had to get all the way to level 22 before we can even take our rival on. We're going to talk about Bugsy here for a second. Bugsy comes out of the Metapod. Pin Missile is going to be technically a one-shot. It hits multiple times, but still 1 turn of attacking. Takedown on the Kakuna, and Takedown's great. We just don't want to use it too much because it does do recoil. So the problem you can have here is you can knock yourself out. But we take down Scyther very simply, very easily. Then we beat Bugsy, and we're gonna move right on to the next battle, which is one of the first problems in this playthrough, which is against our rival. Our rival has Ghastly, and we only have 1 move that can hit it right now, and that's Pin Missile. Pin Missile's not gonna be great because it is poison type. It's gonna be resisted. So look at it, only 5 power now, so it's not super effective. However, if we hit, we are a couple levels higher. We are going to do a little bit more damage. What we don't want from Ghastly is to hit us with Lick and Paralyzes or put us to sleep. Or even use Spite. Now here's the other problem. Q-Lava, we do not outspeed. Now, me just being a little bit of a better prepper, what I should have done is looked at Q-Lava's speed and said, okay, we need to get the level high enough to outspeed the Q-Lava before we take this battle on. We still have the RNG woes with Ghastly. You can put us to sleep, you can paralyze us, those things do happen. And we could stay asleep forever. We can stay asleep for 5 or 6 turns like we just did here. But eventually we will knock out the Ghastly. The Ghastly doesn't have anything great against us. We just don't want to get paralyzed. That's really the biggest problem with Ghastly. And we want to outspeed Q-Lava. Q-Lava has Ember. Ember, look at it right now. If you look over right above the rival's head, Ember, 240 effective power. That is going to stomp us every time. It's going to 2-shot us without any kind of issues. If it crits, it's going to be even worse. We haven't left yet and leveled up. That's kind of where we're at right now in this playthrough. We're still just trying to get the battle done, see what kind of RNG we need. Eventually, like I said, we do knock it out. But Q-Lava is going to do so much damage, and it goes first. It's going to hit us twice before we hit it. And if we went first, we probably would have no issue, which is why I said we got to leave, get to level 23, and come back and have a speed of 35 to outspeed Q-Lava, whose speed is 34. Now we just need Ghastly to cooperate, but he paralyzes us right here. We do try to go another turn, but that just negated the entire reason for leveling up and outspeeding Q-Lava. With paralysis, he's going to outspeed us again. He's going to go first. So we're going to take another reset. We've taken 4 resets on this trainer alone. Pin Missile just needs a hit, knock out the Ghastly, full health going into the Q-Lava. We do takedown, we get 1 shot on the Q-Lava, very good. And now Zubat's a foregone conclusion. Very good, get the win over our rival and move right on to Goldenrod. On our way to Goldenrod City, we're going to detour into the forest near Azalea Town, and we're going to pick up a new move. That move is going to be Headbutt. It is a much improved move over Tackle and Rapid Spin. It's probably better than Takedown too. It is more reliable, it's 100% accurate, doesn't have recoil, it can make the opposition flinch. Now we're not very fast, so I don't know how much we're going to be making Pokemon flinch or not. However, it is nice to have the move. We also added another move to our move set, which is Rollout. It'll be useful from now until pretty much the end of the video, until we face Pokemon or Trainer Red. And now we're going to go and face Whitney. Whitney's going to lead out with a Clefairy. Now, how do we going to play this out? We're going to go for Headbutt on the Clefairy. Very good. We do not outspeed the Miltank. Miltank can be very trolly here because it can go for Headbutt as well, or Stomp, and that could make us flinch. However, we do a lot more damage her does to us. We are Steel type. We are resistant to the normal attack. So we get a pretty easy win over Whitney, which is actually going to boost all of our other normal type moves as well. So any normal move we have, like Headbutt, like Takedown, is not only boosted by the Pink Bow, but we get a 10% boost to all normal moves, so those moves will go up as well. Headbutt is now 86, and Takedown is 111. We're going to face Sudowoodo next. We went and talked to the eavesdropping so-and-so, and now we're going to face Sudowoodo. We squirted it with a squirt gun, and we're going to use Pin Missile. Pin Missile gets a pretty easy win, pretty quick win over Sudowoodo, and that's going to lead us right next to Lake of Rage. Now, we like to do a couple errands here. Lake of Rage is one we go to right away when we have a Pokemon with a very limited move pool like this, and we decide to add Hidden Power, and it's Hidden Power Ice. We have Headbutt, Pin Missile, Rollout, and Hidden Power Ice right now. We knock out the Flareon with Headbutt, very good. We're going to have the option Learn By, and we're going to decline that option. We're going to move right on to the next member of the Komodo Girls. Komodo Girls have all the evolutions, if you don't know this. Start with Flareon, then you have Espeon, then I think you have the Dark type, which is Umbreon, then you have Jolteon, then you have Vaporeon. And our goal is to beat them very fast. A lot of really quick experience you can get. They're level 17, so they're much lower level. However, they still give us a pretty good experience. Just like, look at that experience right there. That's almost a quarter, or it's almost half experience right there. Just beating that evolution. Vaporeon right here, we're probably going to level up after we beat this one. Yep, like I said. And then the next one's going to give us about half another level of level up experience. Jolteon right here, Headbutt, Knockout, very good. That's about a third. And we're going to go ahead and move right on to our third rival battle. Our third rival is going to be a lot easier than the last one was. Even though Cyndaquil does have a fire move, we have a great move to counter Cyndaquil. This is where Rollout comes in handy. Haunter. We're going to go for Rollout on the Haunter. He's going to go for Curse. Now, Rollout doubles its output of damage every turn. So we one-shot the Q-Lava. We're going to one-shot the Magnemite. It does have only 90% accurate, so it can miss. However, we swept his whole team, took no damage, and we're going to fall through the floor and land right in front of Morty. And guess what? We're going to implement the same exact strategy on Morty. As long as Rollout doesn't miss, we have a very good chance of knocking out all of his Pokemon. One downside here is we do not outspeed the Gengar. That can be problematic. It can be troublesome, whatever you want to call it. We're going to knock out the Haunter. Very good. Now, do we knock out the Gengar? He went for Mean Look, and Mean Look did nothing. So we get a pretty easy win here unless we miss our Rollout, which we don't. We beat Morty, and move right on to old Chucky Boy. Now, Chucky Boy is going to have Fighting type. We really don't have any issue here with him. We are Steel type. And he's going to come out with his Primeape. Primeape is going to come out, and we're going to one-shot with Return. Very good. and we're going to two-shot the Poliwrath. It doesn't put us to sleep, it doesn't confuse us, which is good. We knock out Chucky Boy, and we're going to go ahead and move right on. We're moving at a breakneck pace right now. This is an optimized playthrough. Don't only show a lot of the intermediate stuff. I want to show the primary battles, what I call the landmark fights. Gyarados goes down to 2 returns, and we're going to go ahead and talk to Lance, the liar with the flyers, as my guy Squidgy will call him. And we're going to move right on to Price. Price is the Ice Gym leader, leads out with a Seal. Seal is going to go, it's an Ice type, so we're going to start rolling out, and almost gets a one-shot there. Actually, critical hit, so it probably wouldn't have been a one-shot, wouldn't critical hit there. And we're going to knock out the Dugong. Piloswine comes out. We're going to go for a rollout on the Piloswine. It's a one-shot. This is how good rollout is. If you get rollout hitting, it can definitely wipe away what would be some problematic battles. And we're going to go talk to Jasmine about the sick Ampharos. He's going to feel so much better. He flashes us, and we're going to move right on and take on her gym, Jasmine's gym, and we're going to take her on. She's a Steel type, and she's going to lead out with the Magnemite. Now, Magnemite can't really do much to us other than paralyze us. So we're going to go ahead, and we have a Paralyze Berry equipped. And we're going to go ahead and cure ourselves with the Paralyzed Berry. There we go, knock out the Magnemite. We're going to go for Hidden Power on the Steelix. It looks like it's going to be about a 3-shot. Now it's going to heal right here, which she always does, so I anticipated that. Get a critical hit and a knockout with a second Hidden Power. Very nice. And even if we get paralyzed here, it's not the biggest deal in the world, because we can just knock it out on the next turn, and it's not going to do that much damage to us. We beat Jasmine. And we're going to move right on to our next rival battle. I skip over all the rocket stuff. It's for your sanity, not mine. I have to do it regardless. You don't have to endure those things. Now we're going to face our 4th rival, and he's going to come out with a Golbat. We're going to start using Rollout. Rollout, first off, is super effective against Golbat, so it will two-shot. And now the effective power of this move, 480 on the Kulava. It doesn't double the 480 for the next Pokemon. He was weak to it, so Haunter gets knocked out, and then the last Pokemon is Sneasel, and we have to restart the rollout. We should have gone for like return here. Sneasel's pretty frail, but we still get the knockout, and we have most of our health intact. We are steamrolling for a rival, and now we're going to move right on to Claire. We're in the middle of the rival-Claire rival sandwich here, and Claire's going to come out with a Dragonair. We don't have the Never Melt Ice equipped. I usually do, but I thought we had enough power to knock these out, which we do, and the last Dragonair is going down as well. So now the last Pokemon we have to deal with is Kingdra. Kingdra is going to go down. Looks like the 2 returns. We're not quite in a healing range, so she doesn't heal. We get the win. We get the knockout over her. She makes us jump through hoops to get her damn badge. But we're going to move right on to our final battle before the Elite Four against our rival. He's going to lead out with a... What is he going to lead out with? A Sneasel? Yep, Sneasel. Sneasel's going to go down to 2 rollouts. Actually, 1 rollout. So now we may not get hit by anything except for the last Pokemon. 1 hit on the Typhlosion. 1 hit on the Golbat, unless we miss. 1 hit on the Magneton. Magneton's pretty bulky at this point in the game, so that's good that we had that's when he brought out that Pokemon, 1-shot on the Haunter. Now he brings out Kadabra. Now rollout finished, so it restarts, but return gets a knockout. Didn't take any damage. We go right into the Elite Four and take on the Elite Four. Before we head into the Elite Four, the first thing we're going to do is look at our moves and then our stats. So the first thing we're going to look at is our moves. The moves we have going to Elite Four are, we have the Pink Bow equipped, we have Return, Headbutt, Rollout, and Hidden Power. We could also equip the Never Melt Ice. We could also equip the thing called the Quick Claw, which we have not had to use in this playthrough so far, and it hasn't really been useful. Now, a couple things I want to explain here before we head into Elite Four. I decided it was prudent for us to level up a little bit. There's one Pokemon in the Elite Four that gave us a lot of problems in the original playthrough, and that is Houndoom. That is Karen's Houndoom. Karen's Houndoom has, I think it was 105 speed. We needed to outspeed that thing. So I fought battles I've never fought in this challenge before. Whenever you beat Claire and Claire, and whenever you're going up through the Victory Road, I usually never fight any of those trainers except for the mandatory ones. I fought all those trainers to get us to a much higher level. We're level 54 going into this so that we can outspeed one Pokemon. It's really the one point of contention we had in the original playthrough was that one problematic, annoying Pokemon. And now the stats going in, our stats are in the bottom left corner, but what they are before the badge modifications is attack is 145, defense is 197, special attack is 113, special defense is 113, and speed is 91. And with the badges applied, attack's 163, defense is 221, special attack is 127, special defense is 113, and speed is 102. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to this battle and face our first member of the Elite Four, which is Will. He is a Psychic Specialist. He's going to lead out with a Xatu. We are technically weak to Xatu because it can... actually, we're not. We're not weak to Xatu at all. We were weak, but not anymore because we have the Steel type. And so we're going to one-shot the first Xatu. The second one comes out slightly higher level, gets one-shot as well. Return is going to knock out the Slowbro. Very good. And that leaves us with 3 Pokemon left. Executor comes out. We got Hidden Power Ice. This looks like it's going to be a one-shot. Very good. And Jinx should go down to 1 return. She's very frail. Physical moves do a lot, and that is the one that has our higher stats. So very good. We beat Will without taking very much damage at all. And now we're going to go ahead, and I thought I was going to have to change something here, but I don't. Just got to go right into this battle. He actually has a Forretress as well. So all we got to do is start rolling out, and we'll do a lot of damage. So first thing we got to do, roll out on the Ariados. Its second hit knocks out. Very good. It went for double team there. That could have actually reset our rollout counter, but didn't happen, so we're all good. Now we're going to go ahead and go for Forretress. He goes for Protect, which undoes our rollout, so we got to get restarted. And all he has to do is go for Protect again, and undoes. I don't know why I went for rollout again. I should have just gone for Hidden Power Ice or something else. But I did want Muck to go down to 1 rollout, so that was strategically the better option to stick with rollout. But now we miss, so now we got to go restart anyway. Hidden Power Ice looks like it's going to be a 2-shot on the Crobat. He does heal, but we're still going to get that 2-shot. If we get a crit, we can 1-shot potentially, but we do get the win. Don't take that much damage. It was really a very controlled battle on my part against Koga, and that leads us right into Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. In this game, he's a little bit better than he is in other games. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go for Return. It does 1-shot to Hitmontop. Very good. Hitmonchan comes out. 1-shot. Very good. Hitmonlee is frailer than Hitmonchan, so this should also be a 1-shot. Very good. So we have 2 Pokemon left, and it's Machamp. Machamp really can't do that much to us. Return is going to be a 2-shot. Look how much Cross Chop did. That's its most powerful move, one of the most powerful fighting moves in the game, and it did like 30 damage. And that's not much. And then we did Hidden Power Ice on the Onix. Very clean win over Bruno. Now here was the problem that we had was Karen. It wasn't the first Pokemon, which usually Umbreon's the problem. It's not Umbreon. It's Houndoom. Houndoom's speed is 106. Our speed is 109. So we will outspeed the Houndooms. That's not the problem. What we got to do right now is we got to get through the Umbreon. Umbreon right now is being the problem. Rollout gets the hit, and now we have the next Pokemon come out. It's Houndoom. Very good. 1-shot. And as long as nothing horrible happens, we look like we're going to about to sweep this. However, I think we actually get got here by the Gengar. And not in the way I thought. He goes for a move called Destiny Bond, and if we knock him out, it knocks us out. We had everything go our way, and Gengar just screwed it over, and we missed an attack, and we had to restart. So it is what it is. We take a reset on Karen. We'll probably take maybe one more reset. I think maybe we'll see. I don't remember. I think we don't take any more resets on Karen. What we do instead is we're going to go ahead and go for Headbutt. Now go for Rollout. Very good. Our Axe is lowered. Shoot. So we're still going to hit the Houndoom. Nope, we miss. And he's going to 1-shot us from full health. Yep. So that's the second reset on Karen. Now all we need is just the right RNG. Just the right RNG. If we can get a flinch on the first attack and doesn't attack us, then we can start Rollout. It'll be twice as effective on the second turn. And Houndoom is weak to rock moves. So that's all we got to do. We just got to get Rollout going. Now, the problem is you don't want to start right away. That's the problem right here, because we want this to hit other Pokemon. We want this to hit like the Gengar. We want this to hit, the Vileplume potentially, because Vileplume can go for Stun Spore and make this battle really convoluted. However, we're going to go ahead and start it over. It goes for Curse. We just don't want Destiny Bond. As long as it doesn't Destiny Bond us, I don't care. Okay, so we knock out Gengar, and we should have no problem on the Murkrow. Very good. This battle can go off the rails, man. There's one Elite Four member in every game that has all these, weird things that can make the battle muck it up a little bit, and that's Karen. Now we're gonna go ahead and go and face Lance. Now we went with the wrong strategy here. I went for a Return. I wasn't thinking. I didn't remember the strategy, so I didn't do the right thing here. We did tank a Flamethrower. That's pretty good. However, we didn't do the right thing here. We should have started with Rollout from the get-go. Gyarados is a flying type, so Rollout would have been very effective. It's a rock type, and it would have got going, and we'd have other Pokemon get knocked out a lot easier. So I went with the wrong thing here. Sometimes I'm just in the moment playing, and I'm not thinking about what the things I wrote down strategically we need to do to make it so we're more effective in whatever battle we're in. So now we're going to do the right strategy. We're going to use Rollout, and it's going to 2-shot. He's going to go for Rain Dance, so we take no damage. Okay, we actually went into this not fully healed, but I didn't realize that. And now Rollout's going to knock out the Charizard. Don't take any fire damage. So now, unless things completely go off the rails, we get 1-shot on the Dragonite, 1-shot on the next Dragonite. They are weak to it. Look at that output, 1,920 output with Rollout. That's insane. And we're going to go for Return on the next Dragonite. Very good, very good. Knock it out. And then the last Pokemon is Aerodactyl. We probably should have gone for Rollout because Aerodactyl, it would have been effective against Aerodactyl. We were not going to learn Double Edge in this playthrough. We did in the last one. We're not going to learn it in this one. And so now we're going to go for Return on Aerodactyl. We're going to hit one more time. We get the win. We get the knockout. We beat Lance, the liar with the flyers, as my guy Squidgy would say. And we're going to go ahead and look at our time here. So this is the time we got in our optimized playthrough. 1 hour and 27 minutes and 53 seconds to get through the Elite Four. Honestly, you watched the same playthrough I watched. There's a lot of things we could have done that would have made this Pokemon a lot faster. If we'd have just paid attention to the speed from Cyndaquil in our second rival battle, if we'd have paid attention to some things in the Lance battle, maybe I could fought a couple less trainers. Maybe that would have been something as well. But there's definitely room for improvement here. We did improve by 22 minutes, so I'm not going to sit here and say we didn't do better. We also had a lot less resets. That was part of it as well. But with more knowledge of the game, we should have been in a better spot where we could have just done better. We should have just been in a better spot where we can, know the outputs of moves, know what we need to do to win. But without further ado, I do want to dive into the next part of the game. I do not showcase a lot of things. Here's the thing. So in the early part of the game, in Johto, we spent a lot of effort to getting to a certain level so we can outspeed a certain Pokemon, which we did. And it worked. We had a lot less resets on Karen than we did in the original playthrough, saving us 22 minutes. We probably could have saved more. Probably got this down around like an hour and maybe 22, 23 minutes by just, a little bit more prep work. However, I think we did pretty well. Now, here's the thing. In Kanto, I thought to myself, same strategy. Let's get to a higher level. We can outspeed a fire Pokemon at the end of the game against Red, Charizard. However, we would have to get to like level 95 or something to outspeed that Charizard. I fought a lot of battles. It took a lot of time, and we didn't need to do that. What we needed to do was rely, just get through, use our rare candies, get to the highest level we can. But we're relying solely on like a held item to get through this battle rather than like brute force. So that's a problem that, future, like past JD didn't understand. And then as I was editing the original playthrough or editing this, I realized that was just a better way to do it, was just rely on Quick Claw and let Quick Claw do its thing. And we just got to rely a little bit on the RNG rather than wasting all of our time fighting against like no names and barely gives any levels. But you fight enough of them, you are going to level up. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into Kanto. I'll see you guys in Kanto. Right now we're in front of Red. I'm going to pause it real quick and explain some things. There is a reason why I pulled back doing Generation 2 content. It has nothing to do with not liking Generation 2. I really enjoy Generation 2. There's so many possibilities with what ifs, optimized playthroughs, egg move playthroughs, regular playthroughs, versus series. I can even implement some things from another YouTuber I really enjoy watching. He does like Supermon, where they give him 4 moves and can they beat the game without losing. And then he does like 4 moves where take a Pokemon that's kind of garbage and just give him 4 moves. His 4 best moves start the game. Doesn't make the Pokemon significantly better. It usually does. But it's fun content that he does. I recommend you go check out Squidgy. He does great Generation 2, probably the best Generation 2 content out there, honestly, on YouTube. And I watch a lot of Pokemon videos on YouTube from a lot of different YouTubers. He's probably my favorite. Back to the whole point of explaining why I pull back Generation 2. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of things going on with it. And my time frame to get this stuff done is between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. My wife and kids wake up usually around 7, but sometimes it goes till 8. Sometimes I wake up at 6. It is what it is. And that's something I've just accepted. However, Generation 2, it does bleed into some time because how much longer the videos are, how much longer the playthroughs are, how much more editing I got to do, etc., etc. The reason why I'm explaining that is I lost a bunch of footage. I have periods in which I pause recording and use the restroom, pause recording. Like whenever the Elite Four is beaten, I don't just, keep recording and go right into it. I pause, use the restroom, pause, maybe get something to eat, and then I come back and start Kanto. In this specific playthrough, because I had to pause it at a certain point in this video, I lost a bunch of gym leaders. In Kanto. I think I lost like 3 or 4, and there's no point in showcasing 2 or 3 of the gym leaders if you're not going to showcase all of them. This is why I'm jumping right to Red. We're going to go ahead and watch this battle with Red, and I'm going to explain what's going on with Red. Again, I'm going to reiterate, I thought I need to get to a higher level. That is why it's like a 30-minute difference between beating the Elite Four and here. It doesn't take 30 minutes to beat Kanto. It takes 30 minutes to beat Kanto when you're fighting every battle because the battles are very minuscule. It's just time-consuming. And right now, we're implementing the wrong strategy. I did not remember the strategy that I had to use against Red when I was playing through in my original playthrough. The strategy I originally used was trying to use Rollout and Defense Scroll, which didn't work. So then I got Curse, and right now we're trying to set up on Pikachu. Pikachu is not the Pokemon to set up on. Thunder and Thunderbolt are decently effective moves. He also has access to Charm. Charm's not a big issue because we have Curse. Curse can counter Charm, but the problem is if he uses Charm, we're not going to knock it out quick enough, and we got to take more time setting up, which gives Pikachu more opportunities to knock us out with Thunder and Thunderbolt. Don't want to set up on Pikachu. What we want to do is we want to knock out Pikachu right away and then set up on the Venusaur. Why Venusaur comes out second, I have no idea. Venusaur is a grass poison type. We are bug steel. Nothing about that says advantage. Usually in these playthroughs, Red brings out the second Pokemon It's the most effective Pokemon against the Pokemon type we have. And Charizard is a fire flying type, and we are a bug steel. So I don't know why Charizard isn't the first option. But we get knocked out here again, and now we just remembered, hey, we got a better strategy we got to use here. So we're going to go ahead and start this battle over, and we're going to go ahead and knock out Pikachu right from jump. Even with 2 charms dropped, we still get the one-shot critical hit. That's mainly the reason why. And here's why I wasn't afraid of Charm, because we can go ahead with the Venusaur. He's going to set up Sunny Day. Does he? No, he just goes for Solar Beam. Very good. Now, he's going for Solar Beam. And Solar Beam doesn't do that much damage. So he's not the problem. We are Bug Steel, and his Solar Beam does garbage damage to us. He does set up the Sun eventually, and it doesn't even make it more effective. It just means he can hit Solar Beam every turn. We're going to get fully set up. We're not quite fully set up. Our attack set's only 967, but we're going to use Rest to recover some health. This would be very nice if we had the leftovers with this, but we need the Quick Claw to make sure we can outspeed the Charizard. So we're fully set up. Do we outspeed the Charizard? We do not. And he's going to one-shot us pretty much every single time. So right now we're just waiting for a Quick Claw prompt, and that was the main reason we had a lot of resets in the original playthrough, is we had to take like at least 10 resets just figuring out the proper strategy, and then we took about probably 10 to 15 more resets just trying to get the proper RNG. We one-shot the Pikachu, so we don't have to worry about doing too many curses, so less turns to set up on the Venusaur. Very good. And he doesn't go for Sunny Day yet, so he's just going for Solar Beam. That's good. We're going to get fully set up. And he brings out the Sunlight. That's not a big deal, because even if we bring Charizard out with the Sun out, we don't have to worry about it, because if we Quick Claw and hit Charizard, he's going to get knocked out anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. Charizard comes out. Do we get the Quick Claw? We do. And with that, this is pretty much a foregone conclusion. You don't want to guarantee that, because Snorlax can paralyze us and mess it up. With Rest, though, we do have the ultimate way to get rid of that ailment. We're going to have to go for Return. As soon as we wake up, we want to go for Return. It's going to one-shot. We got fully set up. And this is why Return is better in this scenario than Rollout. Rollout, you can't select other turns once it's initiated, and it also has a lower accuracy. Return does not have a lower accuracy. It's going to one-shot the Blastoise, and unless something crazy happens, we're going to one-shot the Espeon. We beat Red at a time of 2 hours and 1 second. I'm very upset that I did not get this under 2 hours, and it is what it is. But when you compare that to our previous playthrough, 2 hours and 46 minutes and 4 seconds, that is drastic. We have 10 resets compared to 43, and we beat the game 4 levels lower. Like I said, the level really didn't matter. What mattered was getting that Quick Claw prompt. So the best thing to do is just set up and get as many of those done as fast as possible. That way you can get that Quick Claw prompt quicker, and that's what we did. Let's go ahead and look at the tier list real quick. For this Pokemon, I am really upset that I didn't get it in the Onyx tier. It had been right behind Yanma, and yeah, it's literally a second and a half. We'd have had it right below 2 hours. Am I going to play through this Pokemon? Maybe in the future, but I'm not going to go and do another playthrough for this optimized. I do want to do a what if in the future for this Pokemon. This Pokemon does not get good moves in this game. I was actually watching a video with Squidgy the other day, and Squidgy was like, the biggest indicator of success in Generation 2 is your move pool. And once he said that, it kind of clicked for me. Like, yeah, I completely agree with that statement. Because Forretress has all the makings to be a very good Pokemon. Pretty good stats across the board. Doesn't have great speed, doesn't have great special attack or special defense, but they're serviceable. And if you have a slightly better move pool, this could do better. This Pokemon in third generation gets access to Dig and gets access to Earthquake. If we had Earthquake for this playthrough, this would have been a much better playthrough, much different playthrough. The Ghost Pokemon wouldn't have been an issue. So if I started the game with like Earthquake, a TM move from Generation 3, and then ported the Pokemon back to Generation 2, how much better would this be? I'm pretty sure this Pokemon would wreck the game pretty well. The biggest problem it had early was that Ghost, and Dig or Earthquake would negate that. And then when you move a little bit further, Dig or Earthquake would also negate Houndoom. So you wouldn't have to worry so much about having rollout set up. You can just go for Earthquake and that get the job done. Now that doesn't like take care of flying Pokemon. You still need something to hit flying Pokemon and whatnot. However, Earthquake is a solid move and take care of that. So that's just like some possibilities. What I mean by Generation 2 has so many possibilities, because I can backport some moves from Generation 3 and be like, hey, what would this Pokemon be like if it had this moveset from Generation 3 where it makes more sense instead of this garbage moveset from Gen 2? I don't want to go too much into any more depth on this. I hope you like the tier list here. I actually had to reformat this because somehow like I did reset and everything just got lost and I had to reset all this. But I'm glad it's back up and running. Some of these Pokemon I really do think could be in higher tiers. Which ones do you think I could do again and maybe get in a higher tier? The next Pokemon we're going to do in Generation 2, which isn't going to come out for maybe a week or two, but it's going to be Dunsparce. It's a solid Pokemon. It has decent things available to it. It's going to do good enough. We just got to make sure we're smart with it. And that's the next one. And then followed by that, I actually misspoke. I think it was in the last video. I think it was in the Pineco video where I misspoke and said the next Pokemon was Gligar. It's not going to be Gligar. It is going to be Dunsparce, and then we're going to do Gligar. We got Dunsparce and then an optimized Dunsparce. And then we have Gligar and then an optimized Gligar. Those are the next two videos coming out. We'll see. We'll see how this Pokemon playthrough. Gligar actually has a garbage move pool for Generation 2 is what I mean. This is I think it's a flying rock Pokemon or flying ground. And it doesn't get access to Mud Slap. It doesn't get access to Earthquake or Dig. So there's a lot of things wrong with that Pokemon. But that's what I mean by Gen 2. If you don't have a good move pool, they really just know how to nerf a Pokemon. Stats are okay, but you can have bad stats and a good move pool, and you're going to do a lot better in the game. And like, for example, look up here at, let's see, what's a Pokemon? Like Quagsire. Quagsire is not a great Pokemon. It does not have good stats, has garbage speed. However, and also look at Murkrow. Murkrow is a garbage Pokemon as well, but because it has a solid move pool, it counters a lot of those problems. I don't want to wax poetically about that too much. What is going to be happening next week? Wednesday, I have a prediction video for the ground types of Generation 1 with our new ground type challenge that we're going to be playing through here soon. Very exciting. I'm really excited to play through these Pokemon. A lot of these ground types that are rock type will not be in this. They're going to be in the rock type challenge. We have Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Marowak, Dugtrio, and Sandslash. Those are the 5 ground type Pokemon in Generation 1 that we're going to be playing through. And then we'll do rock types later when we have like Kabutops and things like that. And then we're going to have a recap of the grass types on Friday. And we're going to have all the second playthroughs listed as well to see who got their time better. And if you look at the tier list for Generation 1, it's very exciting because the tier list for Generation 1, we have, I think, 2 Pokemon are contenders to get in the sub 40 tier. We have Victory Bell and Vileplume both can get into the sub 40 tier. I don't think Venusaur is going to get there, but I think Venusaur will get into the S tier for sure. And then I think Executor will move up to the sub 65 tier, or maybe even the sub 60 tier. I think it could do a lot better than sub 65. Maybe put it into the C tier. And Tangela, I just want to get it in the E tier. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below with this playthrough. What do you think is going to happen in the ground type playthrough? What do you think is going to happen? And who's going to be the number 1 grass type Pokemon Generation 1 in the grass recap? Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.